President Abdel Fattah al-Ambitious Sisi's new capital city in the desert east of Cairo is racing against the clock to be completed in time for the arrival of the first civil servants this summer and the postponed official opening of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's project. Construction workers are putting the finishing touches on an avenue of ministries that will be modeled after the architecture of Egyptian pharaonic temples and will border an elevated Islamic complex. An avenue of ministries runs through the heart of the city, where workers are hard at work on a series of institutions that are designed to look like Egyptian pharaonic temples and are flanked by a raised Islamic complex and two domed parliament buildings. On the other side of the park, the contours of a 10-kilometer-long public space that will eventually lead to a massive mosque are beginning to emerge. In order to operate autonomously, the city, which will be referred to as the new administrative capital, will be built on virgin land away from Cairo's urban density and will be equipped with cutting-edge technology to facilitate its construction. It will include educational facilities, sports facilities, and diplomatic facilities, amongst other things. However, because the money from the United Arab Emirates was unsuccessful after it was announced in 2015, the military and the government agreed to bear the cost of building Phase 1, which was estimated to be $25 billion in off-budget investment. Additional loans and funding have been secured from abroad. Because of the coronavirus pandemic, progress was slowed and the government was unable to complete Phase 1, which covers 168 square kilometers. Across all projects, the completion rate for the first phase has surpassed 60%, called Al-Hassani, the spokesperson for the new capital, announced. He also stated that the transfer of civil servants will be delayed for several months, and the new administrative complex will be inaugurated sometime in 2021. Egypt signed a contract with Siemens in January 2021 to construct a high-speed rail line that extends from Al Alamein, an important northern city on the Mediterranean Sea, to Ain Sakana, a red-dotted coastal city on the Red Sea. It is expected that the 450-kilometer line will be completed by 2023. During the later phases of the 1,750-kilometer high-speed network, the capital will be connected to various cities in southern Egypt, such as Aswan. A total of around 5,000 out of the 20,000 housing units are expected to be sold in the May commercial district, says Kadab. In late September, Sisi's office revealed that the Egyptian government was allocating 1.5 billion Egyptian pounds, $96 million, in monetary bonuses for civil servants who are being selected to move to the city. Cities like London are said to have social housing included in their long-term plans, and officials claim that it will finance itself through property sales. However, it is unclear how much revenue these sales have generated. About $3 billion has been spent on the government district, according to Hassani. International financing has been obtained for railway links, and a $3 billion Chinese loan has aided in the development of the China State Construction Engineering Corp's commercial district, which was constructed by China State Construction Engineering Corp, CSEC. Sisi has proposed several large infrastructure projects and development strategies for the country. The claim that we are leaving the cities of Cairo, Alexandria, or Port Said is simply inaccurate. The president stated that we will move forward with the old and the new working in tandem. The opening of the capital city would be the beginning of a new state, he added. Even though it is claimed that a new capital will reduce Cairo's traffic, there is also fear that it will be costly and out of reach for many. Infrastructure and security will be monitored by control centers, and solar panels will be installed on roofs, according to officials. Cashless payments will also be accepted, they added. The finished city is expected to have a population of approximately 6 million people, with the second and third phases being primarily residential. While construction on the city continues, the rest of the country will be able to carry on with its business as usual. This is due to the fact that Amr Khattab, the spokesperson for the Housing Ministry, stated that this was the case. Tens of thousands of homes are currently under construction, either partially or completely, on the side of a highway leading into the new city, or are already half completed. The commercial district that has not yet been marketed is expected to be finished in 2023. Construction has begun on a train that will go to Cairo. This line will begin at Adli Mansour Station on Cairo Metro Line 3 and split into two branches, with one line going to Robeki. Each runner will run east of the Cairo Ring Road, keeping parallel to it, to 10th of Ramadan City, while the other runner will head in the opposite direction and move southwest to the new administrative capital. Along the road of the train are the following intermediate cities: Aber, Shorak, and Mostakbal. Giza will be connected to the new capital of Egypt, which is currently under construction via a monorail line.
Here's what this new desert city reveals about Egypt's plans for the future and the debt it's racking up to get there. The central goal behind this administrative capital is shifting the government's power away from here, the country's current capital, where ancient buildings are crumbling, traffic is congested, and residents are densely packed.
95% of the population, which is over 100 million, live in this very narrow valley.
Within that area, there's a significant wealth gap, and in turn, a history of revolt against the government. In 2011, protests erupted in Cairo's Tahrir Square. A revolution soon followed that led to the downfall of Egypt's then president. And its current one, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, is a former general who came to power in a military coup 2 years later. Sisi officially announced the project in 2015 under the objective that this will decongest Cairo and produce new working opportunities.
هيكون عندنا 1.7 مليون فرصة عمل دائمة، هيكون عندنا أكبر حديقة على مستوى العالم.
But political analysts say
Going to the desert allows him to create this distance between him and the urban centers so that in case there is a revolt somewhere, he can repress it without it being effective in blocking him.
Other government buildings are also set to relocate, but employees don't expect to be able to afford apartments in the area, since the cost of an apartment starts at around $80,000. In 2020, the average household income in an urban community was just over $2,600.
It's clearly a city for the rich, simply by finances.
So for the project to be fully realized, it needs buy-in from more groups, including foreign embassies. The U.S. Embassy in Egypt did not respond to requests for comment, but several foreign diplomats have previously said their embassies would need to see that Egyptian government ministries locate there first.
I just wanted to end there, and the fact that most of these leaders, they will need buy-in from embassies for their projects. And Eco Atlantic got the biggest buy-in last year or last 2 years when the U.S. Embassy agreed to build the largest consulate, costing over $500 million in Eco Atlantic. So to me, I think many people say that African leaders don't really do things by the book. But to me, I feel like they have the same type of thinking, and maybe there's a book that they read because the actions are just the same and quite I rest my case. Thank you very much for watching. This is interesting to me because this has all the trappings of land use, urban planning, real estate, law, finances, every single thing that I'm interested in. So if you'd like me to do more and more of this sort of videos, let me know. The African continent is our continent, and we should have the best of minds that are leading us, and also leaders should also be accountable. This is not like a family where you just have to praise and your king or whatever. Every part of the world where there's development, leaders are held to such a high level of accountability and scrutiny. So we need to look at, if you're saying this is A, I want to do this, you need to give us the rationale behind it. I need to have public buying before you're able to do these things. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is the Ownahome TV show. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe. Here, Ownahome, believe owning the home, owning the property should not make you lose sleep. We're committed to the very best property recommendations and insider real estate gist. See you at the very next video. Bye.